Hi everybody, welcome to today's maths lesson. You did amazingly well with metric units yesterday. Today we're going to be having a look at a slightly more old-fashioned way of measuring, which are referred to as imperial units of measurements. So you need to make sure you've got everything ready for maths. We're going to do a quick countdown warm-up and flashback 4, and then we're going to get started. Right then, so yesterday we were having a look at metric units of measure. Metric units of measure are measurements that use the metric system, which means that they can be converted using our knowledge of these different operations. And you all did an amazing job of this yesterday. So this is the metric system that can be applied to convert between metric measurements such as millimetres into metres, or metres into kilometres, or the other way around, or grams into kilograms, kilograms into grams. We can use these operations. What we're going to be having a look at today is slightly more complicated. So this is a more modern way of measuring and converting. We're going to be having a look today at something called imperial units of measurements, which you may have heard of some of them before, but to convert between them is a little bit more complicated, and we're going to be having a look today at how we would do that. It's less likely for you to see these in everyday life, but they are still present, and sometimes you may think, oh, I've heard of that, but I'm not quite sure how big it is and that kind of thing. So we're going to be having a look through that today. Okay, so to first of all introduce yourself to imperial units, I'd like you to have a look at the videos below. So if you go onto YouTube, obviously you're watching the video on YouTube right now, in the box below there are 2 links to 2 BBC websites, and I'd really like you to have a look at those in order to gauge a greater understanding of the different imperial units of measure. The one that always springs to mind when I think of imperial units is Subway. Subway sandwiches. So Subway sandwiches are not measured, obviously it's length, but they are not measured in metric units. They're not measured in millimetres or centimetres. Does anybody know what they are measured in? Maybe you know, maybe you don't, but you may have heard of it before. So Subway sandwiches are measured in inches and feet. So we would refer to this length as a foot long sandwich you might have heard of, and 6 inches. 6 inches is about the length of your 15cm ruler at school. So a good way to remember it is 6 inches is about 15 centimetres. So can you see how they're not quite as easy to follow as what we've been doing so far? We would say, you know, 1 metre is 100 centimetres. Now we're saying 6 inches is 15 centimetres. And a foot is double that, so 12 inches or 30 centimetres roughly. What we're going to have a look at today is easy ways of converting between these measures, including foot and inches, feet and inches for length. We're going to be having a look at capacity as well, where you may refer to a pint rather than millilitres. We also may use the word gallon to refer to capacity. And also in terms of weight, so how heavy something is, rather than kilograms and grams, we would be looking at pounds, ounces and stone. So you may have heard of some of these words before. So we're going to be having a look at some conversions now. Hopefully you've had time to look at those videos. If you haven't, I suggest you do that before we start converting, and then we're going to have a look at how to convert. Okay then, so hopefully having watched the video, you will have seen the lady who was talking about haircuts. Often when people have their hair cut, they say, oh, I'd like you to take an inch off or a couple of inches off, rather than saying, oh, I'd like you to take 3 centimetres off, please. Usually they work in inches, and the lady said about how an inch is roughly the size between your knuckle and your nail on your thumb. 2.5 centimetres. So roughly this amount here. So when we are looking at writing some more amounts, we would need to be using how many lots of 2.5 there would be. So for example, 5 inches, we're not going to be multiplying by 10 or 100 or anything like that today. We're going to be doing lots of 2.5. So 5 inches would be 5 lots of 2.5. So if we just imagine that, something like that. So how many centimetres would that be? Well, we know that 2 inches would be 5 centimetres. And then another 2, so 4 inches would be 10 centimetres. And then we've got 2.5 here. So altogether, 5 inches would be 12.5 centimetres. So what about doing it the other way around then? How many inches is 20 centimetres? So I would need to think, how many lots of 2.5 are in 20? Well, we know that 2 is 5. We know that 4 is 10. So actually, if we double 4, 8 inches must be 20. So we could say that 8 inches is the same as 20 centimetres. So that's our first conversion that we're going to be looking at in question 1, is converting between inches and centimetres. Remembering that 2 inches is 5 centimetres will be really useful as well. Have a go at question 1 then, And before you do, if you want to just carry on watching this little bit of video to look at kilograms and pounds, then that's great as well. Okay, so our next conversion, as he mentioned on the video, if you watched about the gym, okay, was kilograms to pounds. 1 kilogram is the same as 2.2 pounds. Now, this is the symbol for pounds. Now, this is linked to weight. It's not the same pounds as in money. Okay, so pounds is a more traditional way of measuring weight rather than grams and kilograms. So if we know that 1 kilogram is the same as 2.2 pounds, then we can start to work out some other amounts. So for example, 4 kilograms. If it helps you, you could draw yourself a little bar model, remembering that for each kilogram, I've done 4 because I'm looking at 4 here, there's 2.2 pounds. So then to work out the pounds, we know we need to add up 4 lots of 2.2. You could do that by doing a written method, or you may just know the answer, and there we go, 8.8. So 4 kilograms is the same as 8.8 pounds. Another example may be 10 kilograms. 10 kilograms. Now for this one, we should really just be doing 10 lots of 2.2. And I know that because I know my times it by 10 skills. So that would be 22 pounds. And then there's a question also about linking pounds then into stone, which I'm sure you've heard of because a lot of people in our country, we do weigh our weight still in pounds and stone. So 14 pounds is the same as 1 stone. So for example, Fliss weighs 7 stone. How many pounds does she weigh? Remember that for every stone, there's 14 pounds. So what's the calculation that I need to do to work out Fliss's weight in pounds? It would be 14 times 7. So you may need to do more of a written method to help you to calculate that. 14 lots of 7. So every stone, you could draw yourself a bar model again if you want to do. 7 stones, because we know that we need 7 of those, so 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and there's 14 pounds in every one. So we need to do 14 times 7. So 7 times 4 is 28. 1 times 7 is 7. Add the 2 is 9. So she weighs 98 pounds. So you can see how these conversions are just slightly more challenging because we can't just use our times 10, 100 and 1000 or dividing by those. Instead, we've got to look at the actual measurements. But you will always be given what the conversion is. You wouldn't be expected to guess that or know that. You'll be given it, and it's about how we use that information to help us to convert. And finally, capacity. So you've probably heard of these terms previously, but it's about, again, linking them to converting into our metric measures, which is slightly more confusing. So 1 pint, you may have heard of a pint of milk or a pint of beer. 1 pint is the same as 568 millilitres to be precise, which we know is roughly half a litre, because half a litre would be 500 millilitres. So 2 pints is roughly 1 litre. But we're going to be really specific. So how many millilitres would 3 pints be? How would I calculate that? We would be expecting you to be thinking, well, 1 pint is 568 millilitres. So 3 pints must be 3 lots of that. So here we'd need to use our written method again. So 568 multiplied by 3. 3 times 8 is 24. 6 times 3 is 18. Add the 2 is 20. 3 times 5 is 15. Add the 2 is 7. So that would be 1,704 millilitres. If you were then expected to put that into litres, we would be thinking, well, we would know milli means 1,000. So if I divide this by 1,000, I would get my amount in litres. So that would be 1.704 litres. So remember, for every pint, there is 568 millilitres, which is around about half a litre. And finally then today, we're going to be having a look at 1 gallon. A gallon is 8 pints. So to work out amounts converting between these, we'll need to be really confident with our 8 times table, which is super because we are. So for example, you may be asked something like this: how many, and again, you'd always be given this conversion to have a look at, how many gallons are in 40 pints? So how many 8s are in 40? That would help us out, because we know that for every gallon, and again, I love these bar models this week, I think they're really useful. So I'm just going to put 1G for gallon. So 1 gallon, 8 pints, that would be 16 pints, that would be 24, that would be 32, and that would be 40. So that would be 5 gallons. So you could count up in your 8s to work out if you're converting between pints and gallons, and then you would need to be multiplying by 8. So for example, if I said, how many pints is the same as 11 gallons? We would be doing 11 times 8, so that would be 88 pints. So it's really good application of our 8 times tables there. So good luck with those today, and have a go. If there's any that you think are a little bit tricky, please ask on Seesaw for any help, and I'm sure you'll do an absolutely amazing job. Just keep thinking, they are just slightly trickier than the metric conversions, and these are called imperial measures. Well done everybody with unit fractions multiplied by integers today. I'd like you to make sure you've got a different coloured pen or pencil, either on Seesaw or in your exercise book, and I'd like you to have a look at the following slides for the answers. Please remember, big smiley face if you're correct, but please do see if you can spot and correct any errors as well.